Why did they choose that word, breadwinner? Any ideas? I'm not 100% sure. I did not research the source of the word.
Well, I think this is an English word, and in Western culture, bread is the main meal because the winner is getter. The breadwinner means person who gets the main source. Yeah, for a living.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that they used the word winner. They are winning the bread instead of maybe bread maker, bread getter, or something like that. Number 2, resentment. A feeling of deep and bitter anger and ill will. Example, the employees feel deep resentment towards the company's president. And then the verb is to resent. To resent something. Noun form resentment. What is something you feel resentment towards? Usually, like that, you see that? Minus, they use the word deep. You can add deep. Feel resentment towards something is how it's usually phrased. Or you can say, he was filled with resentment. But if you're talking about to feeling resentment, you feel resentment towards something, or resentment to, usually it's used with towards. So that here they're feeling resentment towards the company's president. What is something you feel resentment towards? Someone or something that you feel resentment towards. Or resentment to.
I usually feel resentment toward the people who say they're gonna come to the session. I mean, officially. I mean, not the people who officially register, but the people who want to participate trial lessons. So in this case, I prepare a lot for that trial lesson, but sometimes some of them just don't show up without saying anything. So as you can see, we have lots of roles distributed to the existing members. So if I give the trial member a specific role, that means one of our members can do that. And lots of things, I prepared a lot for her trial, her or his trial class. So, whenever it happens, I feel really resentment toward. I
feel resentment.
Yeah, I feel.
You cannot say I feel really resentment because resentment is a noun.
So I feel resentment in that case.
Serena, is there anything you feel resentment towards? Anyone?
I felt really deep resentment toward my previous boss. She's an asshole.
I believe you. We don't have to talk about why. It's okay. Number 3. Let's go to number 3. Appropriate. One thing I wanted to point out here is the difference in pronunciation when you use appropriate. Appropriate is an adjective. This appropriate at the end. Yet. Appropriate is not a long A. Not a long A. If you are using it as an adjective. Your dress is very appropriate for the occasion. Your clothes, something is appropriate. Your language is not appropriate. Your language is not appropriate. Appropriate. The A makes an sound. But when you use it here as a verb, it becomes a long A. To appropriate. To appropriate means to set apart for a specific use.
Set apart.
Diane appropriates her dresses for special occasions only. She is setting that aside to only use for that. You can appropriate your funds, your money, to use for this, to use for this. This money goes towards this. This money goes towards this. Appropriate.
Yeah. So for example, I appropriate these shoes for my interview. So that's your go-to shoes.
That's your go-to shoes. Your go-to shoes. So I wanted to make sure you understand it's the same spelling, but the pronunciation tells you whether you're using it as a verb or an adjective. Number 4, inadequate. Not adequate to fulfill a need or meet a requirement. Insufficient. The food is inadequate for all the guests. Any questions about this word? I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Let's talk about number 5. Throwback. Noun. One that has characteristics of an earlier time. He showed a throwback of his child photographs. Normally I really like these example sentences. I told you that before. This one I don't like the example sentence that much. He showed a throwback of his childhood photographs. I'm not too crazy about that. So I want you to try and make, without me telling you first, to try and make one sentence using throwback. Serena, you can go first.
This music is a throwback of my early 20s.
Okay, that's pretty good. Better than the example sentence. This music is a throwback of my early 20s. Really?
No, actually, I
This
don't
sounds
know.
like 1920s. How old are you?
I don't even know what this music is. I just had to
Make a sentence.
make a sentence.
Yeah. Do you want to try and make a sentence?
I saw several sentences using this vocabulary. So it usually starts with it is. So it is a throwback of something.
Yes.
So it is a throwback of my brother's my brother's appearance.
It is what is it in that sentence?
This someone's face. Yeah, someone's face, maybe.
Maybe. I don't think that's usually how it's used. Music can be a throwback. I'm trying to think of common ways that it was used. You can talk about a person as a throwback. If there is some really tough guy and he's working on cars and stuff, he's kind of a throwback person of the 1940s or 19. He's older style. Like men used to be really tough and strong. He is a throwback. One reason I always see this word is talking about clothes, especially like sports jersey, right? I don't know if you know sports well or Korean baseball, but a lot of times a team will have their throwback jersey. These days, almost every basketball team, even KBO baseball teams, Doosan Bears, Lotte Giants, they will have a throwback jersey, which is they have brought back an old style jersey that they will wear maybe once every couple months or something like that. Throwback hat. It's old style. Like coming back from a long time ago. So it's used with clothes a lot too. Disparity is a noun. It means inequality or difference as in age, rank, wages, etc. In spite of their income disparity, Jane and Jack never argue about money. This is what we talked about in the article. It is inequality. It is not equal. There is and usually it means it's not the small. Usually you will not use disparity if it's very, very close. There's a larger size gap.
What's the difference between the
I know what you're gonna
discrepancy.
say.
What, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disparity and discrepancy.
Yeah.
Disparity is very similar words. My answer would be disparity is definitely talking about something that can be measured, like with numbers, like age, rank, wages. There is a disparity. A discrepancy could be not just numbers, you know, like in my copy of this article and her copy, there's something different. There's a discrepancy. It is more it says inequality or difference, right?
Yeah.
So I would say discrepancy is more difference.
So based on your
Disparity is more inequality.
based on your example, like your copy has a discrepancy with hers.
Yes.
That means they should be same.
They should be the same, but there's some discrepancy. Yeah, that's one way I see it usually. So disparity is definitely something that's kind of numbers based. Discrepancies, it can be talking about anything else. And dole out, to distribute something. As the breadwinner of the family, my husband would usually dole out all our expenses. Dole out all our expenses. So what is the husband doing in this sentence? This sentence I'm also a little confused by. Expenses is something you can distribute? You would probably dole out money, right? Or if there is we have a large group and some food comes, you dole out the food. You know, you give. It doesn't have to be equal. You know, you are the mom, so I give you $100. He is the son, so I only give him 20. You can dole out money. It doesn't have to be equal, but usually it's talking about giving something. I'm not sure how you would dole out expenses.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay. Let's go to the